Coming to you from Oneida, New York. Recording in my parents' basement. This is the podcast Running Wild. Today we are honored. No. We are privileged to be joined by phone by Brad Eberly. Brad, thank you for coming on the pod again.
Oh, I am the one who is honored. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, you're so modest,
How are
Brad.
you?
You're so modest. That's what I like most about you, Brad, honestly. I'm well. I am well. Yeah, you're still down in Texas, right?
Oh, yeah, and it is getting hot.
It is hot. It's hot. Speaking about hot, speaking about being on fire, how about the Golden State Warriors? Brad, did you watch games 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals?
I did, and I had to turn them off early. It was just unbearable. It was just unbearable.
How was it unbearable, Brad?
The poor LeBron. That's all I can say.
You feel
The look
sorry
of
for
frustration.
you feel
I
sorry for
actually do
LeBron?
feel sorry. I actually do feel sorry for him. He constructed this powerhouse of a team all for the Warriors to sign Kevin Durant this past summer and obliterate the rest of the NBA. So it is not looking good for him.
No. Do you see the Cavaliers winning a game in this series?
That's a great question. I can see them winning one game if LeBron just has an insane like comeback from last season type of game. But if he doesn't have that, then no, it'll be a sweep.
Yeah, speaking to that, I felt like he had that game partially in the first half of game 2. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, definitely. And they were actually the whole team. They were playing really well. Their defense was, it stood up to the waves of the Warriors. But man, he just was gassed in the second half.
Yeah, you could see the Warriors proved too much for him in that second half. And the Cavs played as well as they have, I think, all season. And they were still down, I think it was 4 at half.
Yep, you're right.
I don't know. Do you have a horse in this race, Brad? Or not really?
Not really. I'm unbiased. I don't have a preference who wins. Obviously, since the Spurs were knocked out,
Right.
thanks to Zaza. He is not welcome in Texas, that's for sure.
Right. What do you think of that? What could have been the Spurs? They they were up. They were up 24, and then Kawhi goes out.
Yeah, they definitely would have won that game.
Definitely that game. Do you think they win the series?
Probably not. They just lost. I mean, losing Tony Parker along the way, and just Kawhi had no help. No help. It kills me every time LaMarcus touches the ball. Every time he shoots, he just fades away. It just kills me.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I agree. I saw on Twitter. He's I think what 6'10". I think 6'11".
Yeah, he's up there.
And I saw on Twitter that Kermit the Frog meme. It was. Did you see this one? It was LaMarcus.
Yes, the dark side meme.
Yeah. It was LaMarcus Aldridge. I better post up. Enter me. Nah, shoot the fadeaway. And that's so LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh, it just hurts.
I think he faded away against Steph Curry in Game 5. I'm pretty sure, or Game 4. Sorry, I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he did, and it just.
Like, come on. And then Patty Mills came up short too in that series. But this leads to a bigger question. Right now, we see the Warriors. They look unstoppable for now. More to that later. I don't think they are yet. I don't think the series is over. But more to that later. There have been rumors Chris Paul to San Antonio. Now let's pretend, for the sake of argument, you can add Chris Paul, and you don't have to tweak anything else. Like, you can just add Chris Paul, and we don't worry about any other contract business or anything. Is adding Chris Paul enough to beat the Warriors for the Spurs?
Well, I think it's enough to push them harder than what they've been pushed this year. To beat them, I don't know. That's too tough. It's just the Spurs. They weren't very Spurs-like this year. They lost their shooting. they lost their space, and then their bench. It was just too hard to come up with buckets.
Right.
I think that'll still be the problem if they just had Chris Paul.
I totally agree with you. Let's go back to the finals right now. A big part of the Warriors' success has been their bench. Their bench has been playing well. You get the starting five for Golden State. They get a rest. Ian Clark, Andre Iguodala, David West. He's come up big.
Yep.
This is almost the perfect team.
Yeah, really. I mean, you can go pretty much 1 through 10 on the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs have what, 1 through 6?
6.
Maybe
6, 7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just too tough.
Mm-hmm. And I think a big thing that's being missed in all this, there's the 3-point shooting, there's the ball movement, there's the movement off the ball, and then the individual talent, the individual skill. That goes without saying. The defense, oh my
gosh,
out of this world.
It has been amazing, and people just didn't realize maybe that Kevin Durant was so good on defense until he was placed, here into the system, but he has been unbelievable. Just last night with the 5 blocks and however many 3 steals. Oh my gosh.
And they're so long, they disrupt you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, just their small ball lineup with him at center last night, they tried it out, and that is just amazing.
Right, don't they call that their death lineup?
Yeah.
For a good reason. Who is the best player right now in this series?
I think you have to give it to Kevin Durant. He's just so efficient, and every time he touches the ball, it's a threat from anywhere just because of his game.
Right.
And again, his defense is just it's been unbelievable.
Right.
Steph obviously looks healthy, like he's blown by people and doing his shake and bakes. It's
right.
Very awesome to watch, but I'll give it to Kevin Durant.
How about another thing? So this is something that everyone noticed, obviously. 2 shots by Kevin Durant where I'm pretty sure he was sitting down by the time he actually released the ball.
Yes. Oh, that was amazing.
I mean, he's been on another level, but I don't know. Here's why I asked you this question, because I think when you play with better players, it's easier to look good. You don't have... LeBron has to carry his team. So if you switch KD and LeBron, I think LeBron looks pretty good too. But you can see LeBron has lost a step on the defensive side. Have you seen that as well, or am I imagining things again?
I don't know if it's necessarily losing his step. It's just he has to take more steps than everybody.
Okay, that's fair.
The rest of his team has just been atrocious on defense. The space that the Warriors deliver spreads the floor too much for LeBron to, kind of like how he played last year. He was playing, free safety, running everywhere.
Right.
But they didn't have Kevin Durant for the extra guy to space the floor.
Right.
And they do this year, and it's too much.
I think that's a good point, Brad, by you. To me, this says everything. How good is LeBron that the Golden State Warriors, the team that set the NBA record for regular season wins, can only look this good, feels that they can only beat LeBron and the Cavaliers if they add the second best player, arguably the best player in this series right now. What a testament is that to LeBron? And if he loses this series, does it take him out of the GOAT conversation with Michael Jordan?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it is an amazing testament because I was not a LeBron fan up until really last year. Just seeing him in the finals, he's amazing, and I don't think it takes him out of that race. I mean, he still has maybe 6-7 more years left. Okay. You don't know what could happen until then.
So we have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Okay.
He's up there.
Okay. Finally, here's something that I thought going into this series. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Cleveland's bench was going to be better. I was wrong. I thought there wouldn't be enough shots for all 4 shooters.
Okay.
I was wrong. um, I thought Golden State's turnover issue would come back to bite them against a good team like the Cavaliers. I was wrong again. I think they had 20 turnovers yesterday, and it's still a 30-point game. Did they have 20
Oh my
turnovers?
gosh. They had 20 turnovers, and they need to get that under control if they're, you know, they're a super team. They shouldn't.
Brad Eberly nitpicking on the Rum Wild podcast. I like it.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I actually thought an adjustment from game 1 to game 2 for the Cavs. You know, they did really well on their turnovers. They decreased it by a good margin, but they did not capitalize too much on all the turnovers.
Right.
From the Warriors. That definitely hurt them.
Right, I agree. What else did you see as a difference between game 1 and game 2? Because I think everyone thinks they played better game 2.
Yeah, there were moments in game 1 when, you know, Kevin Durant was on the break and Steph Curry would flare out to the wings, and you would see 3 guys jump to Steph and leave Kevin Durant wide open for the dunk. I think they did better at the control yesterday,
right?
Believe it or not, and they didn't. They jumped back out to the 3-point line, but it wasn't, you know,
right.
all the guys out there. They did a better job trying to contain both Kevin and Steph.
Looking forward to game 3. What do they have to clean up, Cleveland, if they're going to just win a game?
And just capitalizing on the turnovers and having. I mean, Kyrie has to step up at some point and just take over. LeBron can't do it all, and he's been doing it all. His numbers are fantastic, and Kyrie is lacking for being, you know, the second best player on that team.
Right. One more point that I got wrong coming into this series. I thought, let's just go pure rebounding. You take your front 3. It's going to be Kevin Durant, Zaza Pachulia, Draymond Green on one end, and then you have LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love. Now, in terms of pure rebounding, I would have taken Cleveland's 3. But this series, Golden State has been out-rebounding Cleveland, and Steph Curry got an offensive board over Tristan Thompson.
That is not good. Right. It's not good for them.
So that's definitely something that Cleveland has to clean up.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I was with you, too. I thought that just like last year, you know, Cleveland would just dominate on the boards, and that's how they stay in the games. But it has not been looking good. Maybe they're scared of, you know, the transition and having the Golden State run. But, man, they need to clean up their offensive glass.
I agree.
Tristan Thompson only had 4 rebounds. That's not very good.
In fairness, they're boxing him out with sometimes even 2 players. This is part of the reason why I like LeBron. Like we saw in the first half, he's playing more at the elbow, more in the post. This way you get that extra body in there for a rebound. I thought he was starting to settle a little bit in that third quarter. And I thought at times they were playing too much through Kyrie. I prefer LeBron in the paint, just being a distributor if he doesn't want to take it himself, because I know how exhausting that can be.
Yeah, I totally agree. They were just putting too much on LeBron. He was throwing up some desperation shots in the third and fourth quarter for sure. I definitely like him playing on the elbow and post as well. He's such a good passer.
Right.
Oh man, they need to unlock that a little bit better.
I agree, and we saw that in the first half. What can happen?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
In fact, I'm gonna go so far to say as in the first half, Cleveland was actually running their offense better than Golden State was, and I judge that by you run a play and do you get the look you wanted, and Golden State, they were just making tough shots, and there was a lot of good ISO play, but Cleveland were running their sets better in the first half, and they went away from that a little bit in the second half. Could that be a key to winning Game 3 for them?
Yeah, I totally agree. The first half the Cavs were. That was probably the best they're going to play throughout this series, I think.
And they were still down by 4.
And they were still down by 4.
Let's get down to the business, the important business. How will the rest of the series turn out, Brad Eberly?
Oh, it's going to be a Warriors sweep.
You're calling it in 4?
Do we have a bomb explosion?
Wow. You're calling a clean sweep. Yeah, I can insert a bomb explosion for you. Here we go. Wow.
No, I really, just after seeing, I know the first 2 games were at Oracle and, going to Cleveland's home court, but just seeing how devastating they are and they can just tear them apart anytime, it's not looking good for the Cavs. That's all I can say.
Right. No, I agree. For me, Game 3 is a must-win. Game 4 is a must-win. You can lose Game 5. Basically, you need to win all your games at home. That goes without saying from now on.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that simple. If you lose Game 3, then I see a gentleman's sweep, then Warriors winning in 5, or maybe even a clean bomb sweep in your words. So I think you make good points. Here's why I called Cavs in 7. I'm still clinging to that.
Okay.
I'm still clinging
Cavs
to
in
that.
7.
I'm still hopeful.
That was gutsy.
It was, and right now it's looking foolish more than gutsy, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right. So I blanked for a second. At Quicken Loans Arena, the Cavs play better, obviously. At Oracle, the Warriors play better. That's obvious. But getting a little deeper, when the Cavs play with a desperation, like we saw last year, like we saw Christmas Day, when they know that they have to turn it up, the Cavs, they put out a good product. Their 3-point shooters, they have not gotten hot yet. J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, even LeBron James, he hasn't been all that hot. Kevin Love, Kyrie, they haven't really got it going on the offensive end. Tristan Thompson, I don't know. I don't even know if he's shown up to a game yet.
Yeah, was he there?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I didn't see him. But all kidding aside, maybe that's just a product of how good the Warriors are. Maybe. But I feel like there's so much that the Cavs can do better themselves, stuff that they can control, that's why I'm not conceding the series to the Warriors just yet. But I'll admit, it's definitely an uphill battle. But hey, that's what the NBA Finals are all about.
Anything can happen. We saw it last year.
Exactly. That's never give up hope, Brad Eberly. That's the message here on the Run Wild podcast. Game 3, Wednesday in Cleveland. Brad, final thoughts before we let you go.
Oh, I just hope Kyrie shows up. LeBron needs some help.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do it all. He's been doing it all and it hasn't been working. So he needs some extra help there.
Agreed. Someone else needs to step up. Defend the land. Defend the land. Brad Eberly, thank you for joining us on the pod all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Brad, it's been a pleasure.
Gabriel, it's been my pleasure. You are a gentleman and a true scholar. Thank you.